The G20 summit has marked a major diplomatic message to the United States. Despite a U.S. boycott that left Washington absent from the table, the remaining G20 countries pushed ahead with a unified message and adopted a declaration, even as Canada delivered one of the most significant warnings about the shifting balance of global power. South Africa, hosting the first G20 summit on the African continent, announced that every participating nation backed the 122-point declaration. The document calls for urgent global cooperation to help vulnerable countries manage climate-driven disasters, ease the crushing debt, transition towards cleaner energy, and develop their own mineral resources. South Africa framed the agreement as a critical step towards narrowing global inequality. Washington had reportedly urged South Africa to avoid adopting any joint declaration without American participation. But world leaders moved forward anyway, and among the most notable reactions came from Canada's Prime Minister, who pointed to a world undergoing dramatic economic realignment.
This year's G20 summit brought together nations representing 3/4 of the world's population, 2/3 of global GDP, and 3/4 of the world's trade. And that's without the United States formally attending. It's a reminder that the center of gravity in the global economy is shifting.
And when asked whether the American absence threatens global cooperation, Carney acknowledged that multilateralism faces serious challenges, especially as new trade partnerships accelerate to offset the impact of the Trump-era tariffs. And that shift is already visible. India is exploring renewed trade pacts with Canada and China. South Korea is coordinating with Taiwan on semiconductor production to temper supply chain disruptions, while China continues to expand its footprint across ASEAN economies and amid the rising tariff pressure from Washington. While the conclusion of the G20 and with the conclusion, Prime Minister Modi also wrapped up his 3-day visit to South Africa while taking part at the India-Brazil-South Africa summit in Johannesburg. Prime Minister Modi called for the immediate reforms in the UN Security Council. During a meeting with the Brazilian president and the South African president on the sidelines of the G20 summit, the Indian Prime Minister urged that the India-Brazil-South Africa troika should send a clear message for overhauling global governance structures. Prime Minister Modi also stressed that reforming the United Nations Security Council is no longer an option, but a necessity. Overall, the G20 has delivered a clear message. The world is moving forward with or without the United States. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.